Ellie with psychicfuture.com, and this is your horoscope from the 1st to the 7th of October. So over the last few weeks we've had a real focus on relationships and this theme of harmony and balance. And if you watched last week's video, I was talking about how in our relationships we tend to see a lot of ourselves in the other person, or how we can kind of learn a little bit about the way that we are from the people that we have in our lives. And this week is going to kind of carry on that theme, but it's going to get a little bit easier to kind of put into practice because we've got Venus going retrograde. So before you go, oh no, not another retrograde, I really can't take another retrograde, don't worry too much. It's not going to be like Mercury retrograde. That's quite a chaotic kind of energy, whereas Venus retrograde is a little bit softer and gentler on us. And actually it's come to help us because it's going to illuminate a lot of our relationship, not necessarily issues, but it can be issues, but perhaps anywhere where we've neglected relationships, perhaps any relationships that we would like to nurture a little bit more. And in fact, actually a lot of this energy is going to be kind of built on the last few weeks of like this kind of like chaotic, like we must move forwards, we're like entering a new season, we've got so much to do, we've got a to-do list as long as our arm, and this kind of focus on achievement and getting stuff done, it tends to make us neglect our relationships a little bit. So perhaps at home you'd love to spend some quality time with your partner or your kids or something, but you've had like work and chores and all these kind of multiple different things to balance and to juggle. And even like your friends as well, maybe like you've thought over the last few weeks like, oh, I'd really love to speak to so-and-so, but we're both so busy that we just don't have time. If that is the case, then Venus retrograde is going to really help you to see all of this stuff in a new light and to be able to do something about it. And it's going to help you to just slow down and to just take a look and say, do you know what, I really want to speak to so-and-so and I'm going to make that a priority. Or, I really need to have a date night with my partner and I'm going to make that a priority. Or, I want to take the kids out on Sunday afternoon and that is a priority. Like, these kind of things, it's very easy to make them sit on the back burner and to not be important, but they are important not just for the other person or the other people, but for you as well, to kind of make you feel like filled up and make you feel like light and carefree and happy. Excuse me. And there's another thing helping us along with this week, which is Pluto is moving direct. So while we've had Pluto in retrograde, this has been kind of like almost pulling us back from this new area of life that we've wanted to enter. So this might be like, you've wanted to do something new at work or get a new job, or, just kind of feel a little bit better about work. Perhaps you've wanted to try something new, a new hobby or new skill or a new project, just anything that is kind of like transforming your life for the better. It might be that you've had this in mind, but you just haven't really been able to put the steps into action to actually start achieving it. Whereas now that Pluto is direct, it's going to allow you to move forwards with a little bit less energy and a little bit more progress, which is really great because then you've got more energy to be able to dedicate to those relationships that have been neglected. So these two are really nicely hand in hand this week, and it is this idea of balance constantly that we are seeking, like balance in our home life and our work life, social life and alone life, like all of this kind of, we need more balance basically. And these two like retrogrades and like Venus retrograde and Pluto moving direct, they're going to really help us to actually see what needs to be done now and to actually take steps to do it. So I'm going to pull you a tarot card, and instead of doing a general reading this week, I'm going to do you a relationship one because that is the theme. So let's have a card for Capricorn's relationships. Oh, okay, let's have this one. Okay, the Ten of Swords. Right, the Ten of Swords, people normally go, oh my god, that's a really bad card. It's not. It's basically telling you that some sort of like overthinking that you've had recently has reached its final point basically. So if you've been worried about something, or you've had like repetitive thoughts going around your head, like oh, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to make sure of this and I need to make sure of that and I forgot this and I've got to do that, and all of this constant like noise that we have and the chatter that we have in our brain is now ready to be released. So it's kind of reached its final stage. And if you continue to work that around in your brain anymore, it's going to become stagnant because there's nothing more that you can think about. Like if you've already come to a conclusion about something, then stick with it, because that is where you're like, it's like you can't think any more about it. There's nothing more to be added to the thought process. It's just, you know, you've got to now take action, basically. So this is not, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just basically saying to you, like, stop overthinking, because the thinking has been done. Like, all of the thoughts that you could possibly have about the issue have been had, and you now have to just take action on the conclusion that you came to. So yeah, this, in terms of relationships, this could be that, you know, you have been thinking about maybe pursuing somebody or ending something, or perhaps even on a smaller scale, you have, like we were saying earlier, been thinking about, you know, I really want to hang out with that person, but, you know, maybe they don't want to, or maybe they don't have time, or, you know, all of these kind of things that you tend to go round and round and round in your head, but actually once you've thought everything there is to think about it, then, you know, you need to take action, really. It's not going to go any further by thinking about it, is basically what this means. So good luck with that. I hope that you managed to take some action and also managed to enjoy some socialisation this week. So have a lovely one, Capricorn, and I hope to see you next week. Much love.